Hi everybody, it started. Hi everybody, my name is Nicolina Zider. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Unicorn Pirate Studio, and actually I'm also Women in Games International Ambassador. For today's podcast, we're going to talk about diversity and how to hire diverse. I invited Raisa, our HR manager, to help me talk about that.
I am Raisa Krogerus, and I have worked here at Unicorn Pirate Studio for half a month. Half a year. I've been here for 6 months.
I've been counting.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Actually, yes, because probation time.
Your probation period expired. Oh well, now we can't get rid of her.
Yeah, never. So one of our biggest values is diversity,
Yes.
and well, I have heard you speaking about importance of diversity in a team. So, what is your vision about diverse team? What does it mean to you?
For me, it's really, really important. It's also a topic that I think it's very often misunderstood what it means. Very often it means like, oh, we'll hire this one person who is slightly different from the rest of the team and we are done, the quota is finished. And it's not about that. First, the importance of diversity, if we don't talk from human perspective, we talk purely from business, from numbers perspective, study after study shows that more diverse teams have better financial results. And depending on the study, financial results are 30 to 40% better. And here we talk about diversity on every level, not only inherited one, like being, diversity in gender, sexual orientation, cultural background, but also in experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in everyday practice, when you work, if you have more different perspectives, it's just easier to solve more complex problems. You will come to the better long-term solutions. So it's just more efficient. We all know that everybody should have equal opportunity to get the job, regardless of their background, or how they look, or how old they are, what's their gender, or where they're coming from. But we have lots of biases about it, and sometimes these biases are also subconscious as well, and these are the hardest one to fight, especially as further as we go, because also resources are becoming hard to get by. Especially in this industry, we don't have enough people to hire. So for me, this is very important, not only because personally I believe this is the right thing to do, but also because it's a really, really good business for anybody.
Yeah, and it also makes the office a bit more pleasant to everyone when there's different kind of people.
Yes, I think it's kind of like a learning experience for everybody, that everybody gets enriched by that, because you learn something about different people, different ways of working, different way of thinking. We don't necessarily encounter different people from us in our daily life. So it's also opportunity to kind of see, okay, oh, this is how it feels for the person who is different from me. Or these are the hardships I have to go through. Like I didn't know how physically demanding is a person, gender person, go through the process until I actually work with a transgender person and seen it how difficult it actually is.
Yeah.
It's very different when you see it on TV. It's very different when you actually see your colleague going through that.
Yeah, true.
And it's beneficial for everybody as long as you have open mind and as long as you embrace it fully.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is a challenge.
Yeah, also I have noticed that it makes using language at the office. I have started to pay more attention to things because now I kind of hear those voices that I haven't really paid attention from my white female corner of the world. Plus, we get more parties when we have diverse team.
We get more better parties.
Yes, international treats.
That is true. That is
food.
That's a big benefit. In reality, also means that our teams, when we work together, they're just more different voices, and I think the decisions we make are better decisions because we can just cover more different angles. Let's put it that way. It just gives us an edge over the environments which are much more homogeneous. I like to believe that people also feel more free to be themselves here. And I think if you really feel yourself, that you can be yourself, that you'll probably do a better job because you don't have to worry about consequences of you being different than everybody else. You can focus on actually what matters to you, in some cases even your safety. I hope for all the people who work here can really be themselves and feel comfortable and safe in the workplace.
Yeah, true. Actually, I know that people feel that way that here. So
they tell you this stuff more than me. Yeah, you have to use the cheat sheet now.
Yes.
Okay.
So, well, building a team, diverse team. That's another thing.
That's
because you can't pick things or people just because wow, this is different, this is something I don't I don't
this
have
diversity.
this.
I don't have this in my collection
Yeah.
yet. It's been challenging because it's kind of like you're trying to balance out the need to have a diverse team, the people that you actually can hire, and needs of the work and needs of the experience. But there is no guidance of any kind. There is no even articles about it, how to empower diverse people.
Yeah,
And
true.
that's something that it's a big unknown, but hiring is just the beginning of it. You have to empower your diverse teams, and we are really figuring it out. And it's hard because sometimes the things that would work with people who are more, let's call it mainstream, would not necessarily work in the same way with diverse teams. And sometimes the balance of like how people relate to each other, should I get involved in this, should I do something, or should I just stay out of it? But the first step is always to approach the hiring with the mind that we want to attract more diverse candidates, presenting your company as diverse company.
Yes,
so
that's true. Yeah.
people will know, oh, if I go here, there are people who actually are like me, or they appreciate diversity.
Yes, yeah, that's actually how we have got applicants, like
Exactly.
open applications, because people think that this might be
A good place for them. Yes,
yeah.
exactly. So I think that's the first step, that as a company started from the marketing, okay, how do we portray our company in public? And the second step is like, well, but we worked a lot together on it. It's like how to actually define job requirements.
Yes.
So rather than just copy pasting what somebody, we need 10 years experience. Do we really need 10 years experience?
Or do we need
Or we need 1
just,
year, but more relevant?
Yeah.
Do we really need, to list all of the requirements there that would be good
All
to have?
possible
Yes.
programming languages that
Yes.
might or might not be relevant.
Because data shows that women and non-binary people will usually apply only if they fit 100% of the profile. Now, we have to be aware of that when we are making the job requirements, that we really list things that we really think are crucial, and then the rest we just decide by interviewing the candidate and talking to them in more depth to figuring out, okay, do they really have the skills they need?
Yeah, sometimes it might not even come in the CV or references or cover letter. It seems to be harder for non-male to write a cover letter that would be praising. It's always hard for a Finn, regardless of
for most
gender.
of the Finns,
Yes.
but usually that's
Yeah.
also another thing, like kind of selling yourself. It's a bit harder for female and non-binary candidates than for male candidates. So we have to take all of these things in account, and when we read the applications, we kind of have to also a little bit read between the lines.
Yeah.
What could this possibly mean? It's not enough just to pick up one token applicant. It's like, okay, here, black woman, be assorted.
Yes.
To make sure that the candidate really has the skills that are needed for the job, because otherwise it's setting them up for failure.
Yeah, true.
To also have a personality fit that will fit in the team or in our company value. Also to make it sure that we are attractive and we are talking to the diverse audiences out there, that they actually hear what we are saying, and we look as attractive employer to them as well.
Yeah.
I think we're doing
Because,
good. I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah,
You're doing a good job,
yeah.
Liza.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank
And
you.
also our job ads also, they have a description of our company and diversity and feminist values,
yes.
and our target group players
Yes.
are mentioned there, and also that we have a office nanny.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, I don't think you can be a diverse employer and do it quietly.
No, not really.
You have to be
Yeah.
loud about it, because this is the only way to actually reach out to the diverse audience as well. You can't hide in the shadows. You have to be like, here we are, these are our values, this is what we stand for, please come work with us. I would prefer not to talk about it, but I think we have to touch down, because I think that everybody has to make an effort to hire more diverse people. As I said, like, even if you just want to have a good business. But on the other hand, yes, there are challenges, because we are still working and living in a society where we don't have equality. We still facts that in many employers, even if they mean good, that very often there are conflicts or problems at the workplace that are not really resolved. And lots of people who would come from a diverse environment, they might come from the places where they were pushed aside, they were mistreated. They start from the fighting. I'm here to fight for myself.
Yeah. Defensive.
Yes,
and
and
not trusting.
Yes, and there's like, well, there's nothing to fight.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it happened before that people are like, oh, I can't even believe I'm working here and I see everything that it's like this, but I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true. And they're kind of trying to find something wrong with the workplace. It's like, of course, just lots of wrong things. We never is perfect. We are trying, but that has been a problem. As soon as people just can't get over past experiences.
Yeah.
As much as I sympathize with that, because I had some hard experience as well because of my gender and my background. But you kind of have to be open-minded in a new job. It's like any new relationship, you know.
You can't take the old baggage.
Exactly. So that's been, one of the things that happened. Also happened that we have lots of people who apply who really love the idea of the company, but they would not necessarily have the skill. And then I feel really sad because I like them, but we
don't have anything for them. Yes, it would be so nice to hire all good people.
We try to hire as many trainees as we can, and we hire more than even much bigger studios. And also it happens that sometimes subconscious bias happens from all the sides, that even I sometimes have subconscious bias about something, and because it's subconscious, it's really hard to fight. Sometimes it's really hard even admitting that you have it, because then it will be conscious bias.
Yeah, true. Diverse team helps with it because more likely to run into someone who will see your bias.
Exactly, and then it kind of gets exposed. Yeah. And then some people handle it good, and some people don't react too well.
Yeah.
And the people who don't react well when their subconscious bias comes out, unfortunately, we have to let them go.
Yes.
I think anybody go, it's hard, but if you want to have truly diverse team where everybody's heard and respected and appreciated, you have to be willing to defend it.
Yes, true. Yes.
And then so we have to make hard calls, and you and me had to let some people go. Some people left on their own.
Yeah.
We are as a company committed to this, and I will do as a CEO, I will do anything in my power and in a legal framework to protect this diversity that we have. We had some of these cases where people were kind of interested in an idea of diversity, but they were not willing to 100% commit to it.
Yes.
And if you are working here, you can't be observer of it. You are active participant.
Yes.
And that's also something that it's kind of a message to everybody who wants to employ Unicorn Pirates. We are, you participate in diversity, whatever is your background.